Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Awesome 80s Podcast. This is Michael.
This is Lawrence. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Making the camera thing go crazy. Lots of jump cuts.
It's good, it's good.
It's kind of making me nauseous.
Well, what do you want to do, Glenn? What do you want to do? Don't look. I'm not gonna look you right in the eye. Don't look at me right in the eye.
No vinegar strokes.
Hey, so we want to take you, everyone, thank you for staying in and watching us live when you could be on the biggest bar night of the year, or watching riots.
Whatever you feel like doing. I guess my town they got some grant money so the cops could go out and bust more people tonight.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Is Michael H there?
He is.
Perchance. Congratulations. I think you did well over the weekend. Good job. His fantasy football team beat my fantasy football team, even though you handed me my third loss of the season. And you know what? My players didn't play up to their ability. It wasn't. And your players played up to their ability. So congratulations.
Not to kick you while you're down. But I will tell you, this is the first week that I won when I was favored to win at the beginning.
Let me ask you this, because you and I'm in 5 leagues. 4 of them I'm already clinched to playoff. One I'm 1-10, so that's not happening. Maybe 1-11 at this point. Are you resting your starters this week?
I mean, I don't want to get them too tired before the big playoff push.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll give him a break. Let's talk. Do you listen to Serial, the podcast Serial?
What's Serial? Sirius XM?
No, Serial. Do you not know what Serial is?
I've seen commercials for Serial with the members of the Flintstones.
Yeah, I don't think that we're not talking about the same.
Okay.
So Serial is like the biggest podcast that's ever existed. And then over the past 6 weeks, you can't open a magazine with, about entertainment without. Entertainment Weekly had like a 5-page spread on Serial last week.
My wife hijacks them currently. I usually get my news about a month and a half later.
Okay. Well, apparently Serial invented podcasting, and every article I read is how this new upstart podcast. It's like a mix between Dateline and NPR.
Okay. Okay.
It's about a murder. It's this lady. I don't know. I haven't listened to it yet, but now I have to listen to it because everyone in the world is listening to it and talking about how there's never been this thing ever called a podcast until 6 months ago when this lady started her own podcast called Serial.
Oh, okay. Is it about Serial?
No, it's following a murder case, an
Okay.
active murder case that's happening as we speak.
Oh, really?
Each week, this lady apparently breaks it down, what's going on with it, and it's like everyone in the world is listening to this thing. I'm not, but now I will be, just because I have to know what it's about. So, Serial. It's a podcast. Look it up. We'll talk about it. ESPN
update. I guess Serial had some stuff to say about ESPN too.
So happy Thanksgiving Eve. There are many different movies you can do for Thanksgiving, but we've done most Thanksgiving movies. So we're going to do a John Cusack classic. Say anything is not what we're going to do.
No.
16 Candle. Nope.
No.
Nope.
One Crazy.
No. Oh,
No.
Better Off.
Nope. He was in 8 Men Out also.
So how many John Cusack movies have we done? We've just
That's
named
at least 6 or 7.
Yeah. This is our 6th John Cusack movie.
Yeah.
The way I figure it, we could do Tapeheads.
Have you watched Tapeheads?
No.
I haven't seen it either. So that would be kind of cool experience.
Yeah, there's a couple others in there.
Well, there's Hot Pursuit also, one of my favorites, where he plays Mr. Determined. He goes to Jamaica, a very young. It's got some very interesting people that he encounters in the Jamaica. It's either Jamaica or Bahamas, and he goes and fights these drug lords to find his girlfriend. But it's still done in a very 80s way. I think you'd enjoy it. That one. It's called Hot Pursuit.
There's Grandview, USA, which was filmed in Pontiac, Illinois.
That's got John's. It's got him in it.
He's very young.
Okay.
I think he was local. You know, he was a local boy made.
Oh yeah, no big
I'm
deal.
sure his parents threw him there as an extra. I don't think he's a huge star in it. And then there's one more. Oh, Class.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to do Class. Class has a lot of '80s stars in it.
This is the prep school one.
Yeah, I don't remember if it's any good.
I remember what. Is Judd Nelson in it?
Yes.
Okay. It was actually pretty good.
There is also Rob Lowe, Andrew McCarthy are both in it. Maybe.
Okay.
No, Rob Lowe is the guy you were thinking of.
Okay, Rob. Okay.
Jacqueline Bissett.
What was the one with Judd? There's a prep school one with Judd Nelson too. I'm telling you, I'm not making it up.
No, you're right. We'll get to it. We have our researcher right here, working very furiously fast to uncover that information. So I don't remember if Class was any good. Oh, hold on. I remember From the Hip. That's Judd Nelson. What are you thinking of Making the Grade?
It must be Making the Grade. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What was From the Hip? I remember.
What the hell's From the Hip? Wasn't he a lawyer? I thought there was one where he was a lawyer.
Yes, lawyer. That's From the Hip. Good call. And then.
Glenn, none of this information is going to help us anywhere in life except right here on this podcast, and that's also something else I'm thankful for the Thanksgiving. It's like.
Now, do you remember the John Cusack movie True Colors? John Cusack, Andrew McCartney. Was it Andrew McCartney? Yeah, it was in. Oh, what's Making the Grade? Oh, hold on. Yeah, it's got to be Making. Oh, Gordon Jump is in Making the Grade. Gordon Jump, who was in the classic WKRP Turkey episode.
Okay, sure.
And so was Walter Olkowitz that Michael is just.
Oh, okay, Walter. Yes.
I hope he's doing well.
Yes.
Andrew Dice Clay was in that movie as well. Wow, we just opened up a whole new bunch of.
But I think so. Maybe 2 or 3 more John Cusack movies after this, though.
Yes. Do you remember True Colors? It was made in '91, unfortunately, where John Cusack grows up poor and Andrew McCartney grows up rich, and then they go to prep school together, and then John Cusack ends up becoming a politician, and Andrew McCartney ends up becoming like a lawyer who ends up having to try to take him down, even though they're best. It's a really good movie.
Isn't there? Aren't they? What's that City Hall movie? Like in '95 or something? I don't know. Anyway, moving on.
It was the '90s. I didn't pay attention.
You don't pay attention. That's stupid
That
stuff.
was in Grifters, where Annette Bening showed full bush.
Yeah, that's 1990. I think we can call it. I think we could do 1980.
I mean, how much can we talk?
I think The Grifters is a great movie. I did really like The Grifters.
You didn't like it?
No, I really liked it. I think it's a great
I
movie.
liked it a lot.
It's hard to find. I mean, there's good movies and there's actually like a film, and it feels like Grifters like actually a film.
Right. I agree. Anything else you want to talk about before we dive into the sure thing?
Other than the 80s, what are your 2 favorite movies that John Cusack has made?
High Fidelity.
Okay.
High Fidelity?
Well, I think Grosse Point Blank for me, I think is also.
Oh yeah. No, that's good.
It's also very good too. But I mean, does it seem like
his career has fallen off a cliff?
Yeah.
And I think it's about the time when I realized that he was an asshole that I stopped caring, like in real life.
Okay.
I've never met him, but he's known around Chicago, and he's.
Oh, people know him, obviously, Glenn. Because you're people that know people.
I mean, if you want to be a dick about it.
But yeah, that's kind of a known thing. He's not very a nice guy.
Yeah,
but
he's the guy who shows up at Wrigley and sits in the front row, and has his Cubs hat on, but he
doesn't want to talk to anybody. Yeah. And also he's famous for requesting White Sox tickets to the World Series. and then having them being denied to him, because it seems like
right.
he's the kind of guy that would take that kind of news lightly. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like he's well known for being a Cubs fan, then all of a sudden he wants to go to the White Sox World Series. But he did play a White Sox player in 8 Men Out. So
he did. He most certainly did. A whiny little one, if I remember correctly.
I think he's basically the main. I think he's almost the protagonist of 8 Men Out. I mean, between him and the main pitcher.
Yeah. So I've talked many times about my feelings on John Cusack. I'm not going to labor the Lloyd Dobler point in this movie at all. So I'm just putting that out there.
Okay.
So let's talk about The Sure Thing. The Sure Thing, we'll talk about our opinions on it after, but let's get to the facts and only the facts. Also, a special shout out to Casey. Casey wants to know where he can watch your movie at. What was the name of that website, and is it up yet?
The old movie or the new movie?
The new movie.
I haven't submitted it yet. They haven't sent. I haven't sent the Blu-ray version of it
I
yet.
get to watch it.
Soon, Glenn. You saw it at the film festival, Glenn.
Right. I traveled all that way with Michael H., and now I want to be rewarded for my efforts.
It wasn't really that far. It wasn't really that far.
My daughter's birthday party. Our votes put you over the top. My mom had an hour conversation with your mom
about the movie.
And your mom was not happy about it.
I don't know about that son of mine. I could just hear her talking about it.
So
I thought I raised him right. I thought I did everything right. I don't know about that movie. I don't know.
So here we are, mid-30s each, same age.
Whoa.
I don't want to get too specific. Did you think, busiest bar night of the year statistically, and we're just talking to each other over a computer while people are watching? I mean, is that how you thought you'd want to spend your Thanksgiving heaves?
I knew this was going to happen. Eventually, from the time we met, sophomore year of high school, until now, I thought something like this would happen.
Okay. Back when you called me the Jersey kid?
I think I got more jerseys than you now, Glenn. I don't want to brag.
My wife would disagree with you.
Oh, well, you're getting those Bears ones though too.
Yeah,
some of those are awesome. Some of those are really, really cool, Glenn.
No, but I needed new addresses to ship them to.
FBI's on my ass. Freaking Chinese people got 3 different identities. They make it so easy, but they make it so hard also.
Woman in my I don't mind the FBI. That's not who I'm worried about. I'm worried about the woman who lives in my house. She's the one who I'm worried about.
I've come home multiple times early, taking time off, just to get here early, just so that they don't see the package. Just put it on the hanger, put it in there, like, oh, that's been there. Right. Those jerseys, I've had those.
Let me give you a tip. Then don't leave the package on top of the trash can. If you come home early one
What's this? I don't know what that is.
What came in that package?
Why is there a porno right here inside the DVD player?
Oh no! I usually put porn wrappers on top of the garbage to make that like, oh, I just got.
Oh, it's just porn. It's not like another 8 jerseys.
Thank God my wife does not enjoy my humor and therefore would never listen to this podcast. You have shit my wife makes you watch. I have shit my wife doesn't. I try not to let her know about. It's jerseys. It's jerseys. So this is a Rob Reiner film. I never realized that. Did you?
Oh, no, I did not.
We're going to introduce a fine young lass named Nicolette Sheridan. She wears nothing over her midriff or legs the entire movie.
Mm-hmm. You say like there's something wrong with that.
Oh, I don't know. Perfectly acceptable with that.
Okay.
And once again, thank you guys for taking time away from the riots. I know it's raining in St. Louis, so they've been postponed a couple hours. I appreciate you just bearing with us.
My father said they're shooting at planes. I've tried to avoid the news at all costs.
Hold on. We're back.
Okay.
I had Monday could have been a very stressful time for this country, and I want to thank you and also my friend Miss Jamie Holtman and her husband Dave, because we were entertaining each other by basically live texting throughout the whole thing. They were playing Nelly music while they were waiting for the verdict. That was something. Little John, I think might have been there. I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about something happy. Let's talk about how a confident Lloyd Dobler can't get laid. Oops, I just broke my promise.
That's fine. It's like him and his best friend Goose from Top Gun. They're still in high school. They're having a great time. It's like the last Goonie weekend in high school. We start the movie. They're both getting drunk. He calls him Private Parts, and he throws a beer to him. and and that's like their unwritten language to each other.
Hold on, are you talking about Dr. Mark Green?
Yeah, Dr. Mark Green. Yeah.
I was been trying to come up with that name since last night. Never looked it up, and then it just hit me as I looked at Anthony Edwards. That's Dr. Mark Green.
So it's got Anthony Edwards in it, and they're BFF. This is probably the last time they're going to see each other before they both go to their respective high schools. One is UCLA, and that's where. What was that?
You said high schools. I was correct.
Oh yeah, prospective colleges. Yeah, and one's UCLA, and that's where the other nerd from Revenge of the Nerds is going, and where John Cusack is going is some Ivy League school, some unnamed Ivy League school. Am I correct?
Yes, you are correct.
So he ends up describing, like, I thought it was kind of funny that Goose was there describing. He's like, you don't want to go to some Ivy League school. You'll end up with some girl playing a cello and wearing glasses and doing all this. I'm like, he's basically describing his girlfriend from Revenge of the Nerds. But then right after that, they cut to the John Cusack writing a letter to his best BFF while his first 3 weeks in college. Do you write friends letters, Glenn?
I was just about to comment how you left me.
7 years or so.
You traveled the world. You went to Europe. You taught little kids how to do little kid things, American style. Never did I get a letter. One day you showed back up with long hair and muscles.
Oh, well, then do what you got to do.
You were swole and you had long hair.
Okay.
And I thought I'd lost you forever.
No dreadlocks.
Did he look like Rick Smits?
He looked like the Flying Dutchman.
It's crazy. Like, I mean, I probably literally gained 80 pounds since high school.
You want to talk Kane? I mean, well, when I graduated high school, I weighed 117 pounds.
Yeah.
So.
And then you had a throat issue for a while, which wouldn't let you eat, and I was like, Glenn's gonna die on me. This is when we were living together. I'm like, Glenn's gonna fucking die. Oh shit! Like, he can't get anything down. We gotta get a tube into his stomach or something. Help me stick it up his nose.
Well, I'm glad.
Both of us look pretty skinny, very unhealthy.
I would pay to have a third issue for like 20 pounds.
Okay.
And then I'm just fine again. So, yeah. Right when they get to college, Gib writes Anthony Edwards. He's miserable. His roommate's fucking all the time.
He's kind of bigger, and he's also kind of ugly.
Who, his roommate?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say he's movie friendly.
Hold on, was that his roommate? I don't think that was his roommate.
Yeah, it was.
The big guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he showed him his letter, his to the forum.
Right.
Yeah, I have that too.
All right. I did not think that was his roommate. I thought that was just a guy, like a friend.
They played football together, Glenn.
Not the fat guy?
Yeah, he did.
The fat guy, yeah.
On the other team?
He was on the other team.
Oh, okay. All right. I was watching the riots. So Gibbs is not Gibbs. That's Jethro. This is not Jethro Gibbs. Doiner, you know what I'm talking about.
Well, once again, thanks, Doiner. He did also is donating to the Awesome 80s podcast. We do appreciate every donation. We got big plans. We're going to do a push to maybe get us to Springfield next year. We'll see.
We'll talk about it. I got to write this. I'm going to write that so we can talk about it at the end of the podcast. All right, back to the top. So, Gibbs just kind of a carefree guy. Doesn't want to do his homework. Doesn't really want to, he just wants to get laid and hang out. He just wants to be a bro, man. Bro it out.
But also, back into the original party that he's at in high school. He's trying to pick up this chick, and we get introduced also to the soundtrack there, and we get to the 1980, I think it's 1984 album Sport, brought to you by Huey Lewis and the News, and they're playing A Heart of Rock and Roll.
Did we do a Huey Lewis and the News episode?
Yeah.
Was that like the night before my first wedding?
I think it's the first wedding.
Okay.
I believe in this marriage, Glenn. I will do everything it needs to be done to make this marriage work. But if there's a third marriage, I'm gonna walk out like Slash. from the Guns N' Roses November Rain video. I'm just gonna walk out in the middle of it. Like no one's gonna be like, "What are you doing?" I'll be like, "Look at it." I'll be like, "It's a third fucking marriage."
At this point, I'm just doing whatever I want.
Thank you for laughing at that, Clint. I appreciate it.
Oh, I can't wait now.
Okay.
I don't like divorce now just for that.
But there's not. I mean, this soundtrack's actually okay. It's got a Rod Stewart song in it, Sammy Hagar's song in it. It's got Two Sides of Love. But the one thing that also stuck out to me, it was kind of we talked about it before, is a Mel Torme song. But there's a Cars song, but the Dance Hall Days by Wang Chung.
Yes, that's. I plan on discussing that because.
Okay, later on.
I turned that on to you. That is your anthem. There's some other good ones. You had Lights Out.
Yep.
You had The Age of Aquarius.
Peter Wolf, yeah, or the other one, yeah. There's Don Henley, the Eagles. We got the Heartache Tonight.
Sick in the Cars.
I think it's actually a pretty decent soundtrack.
It's a really good soundtrack.
I mean, not that it could carry this movie. I mean, it's a good movie, but taking it to another level. The soundtrack is definitely on par. I think the soundtrack might be better than the movie.
I think the soundtrack should have been featured more.
Yeah.
This is a really good soundtrack for 1985. And by the way, is it surprising this was in 85? That surprised you? I thought 87.
I'm thinking it might have got lost in the shuffle, like especially with all those other movies coming out in 85.
In my mind, the 80s John Cusack spectrum worked differently. It was Say Anything and Then the Sure Thing, like was his follow-up. I did not realize that this came 2 years before that, and this was just before One Crazy Summer.
Yeah.
And before Better Off Dead. So he was 17 when he did this movie. So he actually even filming, he had to get emancipated from his parents.
Why not? All kids out there, get emancipated. Get emancipated.
Jake, seriously, just cut that right now. Get a job.
But yeah, he's very unhappy in college, and he's really smart, but he's just not organized. Like he's learning to become an adult in his classes. He's learning what it means to be an adult. His papers in his English class, because he only goes the one class we do see is his English class. He's very creative. He's very descriptive. He's a great writer, but he doesn't have very good spelling. Doesn't have very good grammar. He's just kind of sloppy as a person.
Yeah, like me.
Okay, yeah, totally fine. But we also get introduced to Princess Vespa also in this episode.
2 out of 3 movies. Daphne Zuniga?
What else has she been in?
Well, let's talk about it. So Miss Daphne here. Yeah, give me a second. I wasn't prepared.
She was in The Fly 2.
Fly 2. Okay, she played the love interest for Eric Stoltz, I think.
So we have one. We have, in my world, this is our second of 3. We have one left that we'll do.
For her?
Yes.
And then is it this one?
Where are you pointing? Oh, we're over here. Yes. It's a movie that you and I have had on the books to do a couple times, and then there just wasn't enough out there about it. I think we could pull it off now. I think that we have a different format now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's Gross Anatomy.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay.
It's on the shelf.
It's on Michael's. Now I have like 700 DVDs. So if
it's got Matthew Modine in it. It's got a couple other people in it also.
I have a movie on my shelf. That does not mean it's a good movie.
Okay.
If Michael has a movie on his shelf, it's a damn good movie. And so when Michael has a movie that we're talking about, I feel like we've done something right. And he has that on his shelf. I love that movie. I'd love to do it. I mean, we did Plain Clothes, so we got to do Gross Anatomy.
She was also in this television program called Melrose Place.
She was in a different movie. I don't have it written down where she shows off her stuff.
Okay.
How come we never talked about Spaceballs, the animated series?
We talked about it previously on a different episode. I didn't really want to bring it up again.
Okay, that's fine.
Some people, it was okay. It's kind of like a rehash of the actual movie. You're like, I'm watching the movie, but in animated form. It's fun. It's a lot of fun to watch. It's, I think there's triplets instead of twins in the animated series. If you're into that kind of thing.
Michael has actually created his own list of her career. She did Law and Order. Law and Order.
Law and Order, a common theme between all the movies you guys
Yes, always a Law and Order. She did Nip Tuck, which was a show I enjoyed a long time ago. I don't know if it would hold up. And then she was one of the stars of One Tree Hill, I think, right?
Correct.
Shout out to Art. I think that was his show. I think it was One Tree Hill, not the Gilmore Girls. Yeah, he liked One Tree. So yeah, I think we have one DZ movie left in the tank. Anyway, so Gibbs is just kind of sloppy. He decides that he likes her, but he's the type who he's just kind of in your face. So he's playing football with his fat roommate and a couple other dudes. Scores a touchdown, goes all Gib on it. Ends up scoring a touchdown, chases her down the hall, right into the swimming pool area.
But first, he doesn't give him back the ball.
Well, he throws it back.
He throws it back. He does the dude thing. He does it all right.
Yeah, he's a bro. He's a dude bro.
Did you ever play football with 3 people?
They had 4.
Well, I mean, once he's gone, you kind of have to do just like,
fuck that
like, I don't know. It's all right, man.
So he's the type who's gonna go over the top. He's like Anthony Michael Hall from 16 Candles.
Okay.
Over the top to show his love or show his interest in someone.
Fresh breath. It's like one of the most important things in my life.
So he's the I said this and he's the confident Lloyd Dobler. He's Lloyd Dobler with confidence. So he jumps in the pool to get her attention when she's ignoring him. She still ignores him. Mm-hmm. I mean, that coach has a birthday.
I know. I was like, it felt like the filmmakers were like, that wall just kind of sucks. It's just like a plain white wall. How about make a poster?
One of the line producers, that was her name, so it was like a shout out to her. But you knew when you saw that poster there was a story behind it, so I had to look.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was like,
behind that poster.
Why the fuck is there a poster there?
It was such an odd name. I didn't write it down. It was like, yeah. So anyway, that was like an inside rib, which I figured. So he asks her to tutor, falls in the pool. She avoids him. He just goes and kind of sulks, kind of does his puppy dog eye thing. She passes him. She agrees to tutor him. They set up a date. Now, she's the type of person. Stop me if you've heard this. She has a file of facts.
Yes.
And that made me think, why haven't we done taking care of business? Another time. We'll talk about another time.
Okay.
She has everything planned down to the minute.
Of the day. I like to take a shower around 7:30, and then I got my phone call after that. So at 8 o'clock, I'll be okay. If this Friday night, I'll be okay at 8 o'clock.
There are 2 types of people in this world who plan their things in a file of facts to the minute. They're the type of people who are very punctual and who respect that file of facts. And then there are type of people who make a huge ordeal about getting out their calendar, writing something in, and are then generally still not punctual. And you're like, but you wrote it down. Why aren't you punctual?
Who the fuck are those people, Glenn?
I'm just. Oh, hey. By the way, I want to. I could have been talking about you. I don't know. But I want to warn you. My brother-in-law is afflicted with your disability.
Okay. Yeah.
And he got like a skin thing because of it. So watch out. It's
poor guy.
Rose. I don't know. Anyway, you have the same disability he has.
Is he washing his hands? What's wrong?
Yeah, no. It has to do with the skin and the hair. You guys have the same hair.
I would always. When I was a lifeguard at the beach, I wore the big hat to make sure I wouldn't cheat on my wife's hat, the big bill. and then I get the zinc and I just put it on my face.
No, it wasn't because
I put like 90 everywhere, and I go back over and put the zinc, just kind of random places.
I don't think it was a sun issue. I just think that it's something that sometimes happens to the,
Do you think he's got like the reverse Michael Jackson thing going on with him?
Maybe. I could ask him.
He's gonna get darker. You think that's what's gonna happen?
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Oh,
okay.
So she agrees to tutor him. They come up with a time. It's Friday night!
The kids playing hockey in the hallway, people drinking, people shotgunning beers all over the place.
Multiple Miller Lite signs. I'm sure they paid a pretty penny for, thinking this was going to be a bigger movie.
Miller Lite was like the beer sponsor of the 80s, though.
It really was. Because it tastes great.
It was the only light.
Less filling. Less filling.
No, it tasted great.
Well, it doesn't really have a taste, Glenn. I don't know if you noticed.
Tastes great.
It's less filling, so you can drink a literal gallon of this beer without feeling full.
I'm throwing my headphones out right now.
Okay.
It tasted great.
It is less filling.
I hate when you do this. It tasted great.
It's only 86 calories.
So John Cusack,
I'm just here.
they get their big night. He's got his tie on. He's ready to go. But this is the point where the introduction of the fat roommate comes back in with his letter. It's either to the penthouse. Is it Penthouse Forum?
Yes.
Yes, Penthouse.
So, A, that was a classic 80s joke, and B, a real thing, by the way. It's my 80s amnesia. Now, and you ladies, I don't know if the ladies are familiar with the Penthouse Forum. It goes a little something like this. There's a book. Well, it was also in the magazine, but then they'd put out these special books. And it's full of letters. And it'd be like, I was just doing my janitor job like every other night.
Putting out the urinal cakes, just like I always do.
And then the most gorgeous blonde with big watermelon titties. And she's like, can I suck your man meat? And I'm like, this can't be happening to me. And then it always is like, and I swear to God, this happened.
I wouldn't lie. I would not lie.
Well, and the other funny thing, it was always from like, I'm from some small town, middle USA. Always try to make up some weird.
I'm from Andersonville, North Dakota. And this blonde must have just come in on the interstate because I'd never seen her before. But her titties were like watermelons.
Or meat. What did he say? Meat. Cups of meat. Or what did he say in the? What did John Cusack?
Scoops of meat.
Scoops of meat. It's like, are they gonna know it's titties?
No, it's scoops of flesh.
Scoops of flesh.
Are they gonna know it's titties? He's like, where else on their body are they gonna have scoops of flesh?
But the best part of this whole scene, the one thing that makes that scene a comic genius is that as like the scene's done, he said, "How do you spell zucchini?"
And then he just rattles it off. But
and he was wrong, by the way. He spelled it wrong.
But you know, in that little scene, and this is for the extreme analyst of the whole thing, is you see in that movie like how quick-witted he is and how good of he is with words. So you know that when it comes to his English class, he's just messing with his teacher by spelling things wrong, wrong punctuation.
He's being lazy, just super lazy.
Spelled zucchini wrong when he was telling his roommate. I looked it up.
Maybe that was an inside joke.
Okay.
So he goes and he meets her. He gets tutored. They go on top of the library for their airplane graveyard scene, looking at the stars and whatnot.
But they're not supposed to be there.
That's why it's airplane graveyard.
Oh, he also gets the pickup lines from his fat roommate also, because he's like, how does it always work for you? So he gives them this like cheesy pickup lines like, I can always just be myself when I'm around you. I'm always so nervous around other girls.
So they go to class, right?
Yep. Well, he gets kind of fresh on the top of the roof.
Yeah.
It's a little fat. She's upset, and she thinks this whole thing was a work, even though it was.
Was a work.
Much, right?
She's a smart girl. She's very analytical. She knew he was getting fresh because there were dice in the mirror. I mean,
okay. Yes.
Just kind of keep up. These are the jokes.
Okay. So she's super pissed. And then eventually they see each other in class the next day. And this is when he presents his paper from the Penthouse Forum.
Well, so he accidentally grabs his roommate's letter, apparently, and the teacher is going to read it. I think that teacher wanted to be called, like, Madam. I mean, you could just call the type.
Yeah. She's a dirty librarian who became a...
Hey! We don't talk about librarians being dirty, you son of a bitch.
It feels like she has had life experience, maybe in the 60s or whatever. She knows things. She's the kind of woman that has seen the world. And she liked it, and she wants to encourage her students to do that. Like she criticizes Princess Vespa's paper because there's no heart in it, there's no soul in it. It's technically good, but it doesn't have any feelings. She wants people. You want to eat bad foods, stay up late, go make love in a hammock. High five. Like there's like two dudes in the class. The teacher says, "Go make love in a hammock." They look at each other and high five.
I passed out in Elvis's bathroom.
No big deal.
No big deal. So they she's like disgusted with him because she thinks Gib turned in the Penthouse Forum letter on purpose. He did not. And they kind of just kind of go their separate ways.
Well, he catches up with her and he apologizes. It seems like he truly apologizes, and it just doesn't work out.
Then we get a letter from Lance. No, we get a phone call.
Yeah.
Well, he's been getting, like, if you look at his wall in the dorm, John Cusack has a series of maybe like 8 to 10 half-naked pictures of ladies that Goose has sent him in the mail.
Do you? I mean, to me, that wall was a testament of their friendship. One guy went away, and he cared enough about his friend.
They both went away, Glenn. One guy went away, another guy, they had different directions in life, Glenn.
It's on me because I stayed? That's fine.
It's a two-way street. I don't know how streets work in your town, but mine, they're mostly two ways, Glenn.
Well, I stayed in a town that's full of one-way streets.
And it's bullshit.
That's literal and metaphorical.
Okay.
And I made new friends. Hey, Michael.
Hey, other Michael, my new best friend. There's,
Now it's all making sense.
So he gets to one letter. There's like montage. We're eventually getting into winter. It's almost Christmas time, and then he gets a phone call, and he calls Goose on the phone, and Goose is there at somebody's pool wearing his these shorts that kind of look like Vans, like the checkerboard Vans shoes, but he's got like these short shorts on. I guess that's an 80s amnesia, like dudes wearing short shorts.
I wear short shorts.
Yeah, but the thing that got me about that whole scene was the reflective glaucoma glasses that he had on.
Oh, and he also said, "I'm talking to you on the portable phone."
The cordless, yeah.
Cordless, yeah. Got you on the cordless.
Yeah, but he's like, "Do you hear that? Those are the waves," and he's like rippling in the pool. It's like, dude, really?
So.
And then he gets to the point where he's like, "Go get that picture of that girl. She's just out of boarding school. She's in her experimental phase. She is a sure thing." So he runs back into his room. He covers his face. He's still covering the same side of his face as he runs away. And then he sees his roommate with some other lady in some weird sexual position. He's like, "Huh, never seen that before."
That's new.
Yeah, that's new. Yeah.
It seemed like her legs were like doing the earmuffs.
But he seemed like he was very violent on top. Like the boyfriend. It was like 69, except it was more violent. And the girl was just like looking straight at him like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So roommate's just plowing his girlfriend. That's what it was, right? He was plowing her.
He's young, virile man. He's got his whole life ahead of him.
He's got his bikini down there, I hear.
I guess is John Cusack. I mean, as far as like, if you were a girl, would you say John Cusack was a good guy? Like he hasn't had sex with anyone in college. Like, is he kind of the kind of guy that a girl would try to hook up a friend with?
Hold on.
Go ahead.
He said he hasn't had sex with any girl in college, not by his choice.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He's wanted to, it just hasn't been successful yet.
What? Charger? Yeah. So he's attempted. You know, he wants to get laid.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is he deeper than his roommate? I mean, is he? I mean, as far as like what he's looking for in his girlfriends,
if you know what I mean.
Well, he talked about his relationship in high school. He's like, had a couple when I was a freshman, one when I was I was 4 when I was a junior, and senior year. I mean, am I false or am I under the impression that maybe he was like, I can have sex with random girls. That's easy, but I can't get a girl I actually like and then
No, I
make
think
love
you're
to them.
giving him too much credit. I don't think
Okay,
he's having
okay.
sex with random girls. I think that's what he wanted.
Okay. So this is just happenstance that he hasn't had sex.
Well, it's because his game is weak.
Well, I mean, he wants to talk. Like every time he meets a girl, he wants to talk about him being an astronaut and how he used to be into astronomy.
Right. Well,
Age of Aquarius, Glenn. Age of Aquarius.
Okay, we'll get there. But
Okay.
you're asking a question. I'm going to tell you what's wrong with anti-Lloyd Dobler.
Okay.
He's spitting game constantly. All he wants to do is get laid. But his game is weak, son. You got to step up that game.
He really needs a tutor in the game world.
Well, there's a lot of. I mean, you see people.
He
He
needs
needs Hitch.
He needs mystery.
He needs to be the bad boy. Why can't you just be the bad boy?
Yeah, he's just sitting there like throwing out cheesy pickup lines, hoping to get laid. That wasn't going to work. He's got college girls now, Holmes. They're the same girls that were in high school, but now they're in college.
So he's on the phone with the guy from ER, and he says,
So Dr. Mark Green, Anthony Edwards says, listen, I got the girl. I sent you her picture. He runs in, interrupts the roommate plowing, grabs the picture. It's Nicolette Sheridan, first ever time on film, looking hot because she's not wearing anything in this movie at all, basically. I mean, the bits are all covered, but nothing else. So he's like, come to L.A. She's getting out of parochial school. She's flying out in 2 days. She's leaving forever. Come, nail this chick. She's a sure thing.
no strings.
No
commitment.
strings.
Always a good sign.
She wants to actually. So, there's something very 80s. He does a rideshare program.
Yes, I guess.
Tears off the little thing, gets in the back of the car. Princess is there. What's her princess?
Princess Vespa.
Princess Vespa, his arch enemy, is sitting next to him. Tim Robbins is driving with his show tunes girlfriend.
Yeah, in this movie, her name's Alison, the Princess Vespa. But then Tim Robbins is there. That girlfriend, she's pretty awesome. I think she's pretty funny.
So,
but Tim Robbins and John Cusack are in what movie together, Glenn?
High Fidelity.
They're not, but they're also in Tapeheads together.
Oh, a movie we just discussed. So.
Neither of us. I've seen a trailer for it. I've never seen this movie. It seems like something would be ripe for HBO to overplay or Showtime to overplay, but I've never seen it.
All right. Well, we're gonna definitely explore that.
I think it's something to do with like the rail. I mean, it kind of seems like a generic Airheads a little bit. But
so it was made
probably 5 years earlier.
10 years.
Yeah.
So let's flash back. Circa Sicily, 1945.
Okay.
I pick up Mr. Michael next to me this morning, about 10 till 6, a little earlier maybe, in the a.m. because we decided we're going to go to work. Or I'm going to go to work early. He's going to go to work normal.
That's my normal.
That's his normal. So I'm laying in bed. I can't sleep. I'm like, I'm just going to pick up. I'll text Michael. We'll go to work, get there before 6, and we'll hammer out our day. So I pick him up. I'm telling him about this movie. He's never probably even heard of it because it's not his genre of 80s. And I'm like, you're probably not going to like it. He's like, well, maybe I'll try to find it. I'm like, well, I brought you the DVD. Hand him the DVD. And I make some comment about someone else in the movie, and he goes, and he makes completely off the cuff, he does his Morgan Freeman, Andy Dufresne impression.
Andy Dufresne.
Oh, he doesn't know what to do now. Yeah.
No, okay. He's like, well, Goose is in it. And I said, I've always been partial to Andy Dufresne.
And I'm like, well, good news, he's in the movie too. He had no idea. It was perfect. So
one thing about that car, what was odd about that car?
Is it foreign? It looked like a European car or something.
Well, it was also baby blue.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, if you're looking for a Yugo, I looked one up the other day because I was like, maybe I want to buy a Yugo. The best one I found is $15,000. So if you're looking for a Yugo for some 80s nostalgia.
Okay.
However, the most affordable, good condition DeLorean I found was $55,000.
Well, it seems like the Yugos are the Betamax of their time.
This Yugo only had 1,800 miles on it, though, from 1987, so that's impressive.
Do you think they got it for Grandma or something? Like, oh, Grandma loves those small cars. And then she,
Little old lady only drove it to church and back.
maybe to the store, whatever.
She went to the IGA,
The IGA.
and she went to church.
That's it.
That's all she drove it. One owner. She had Cousin Jeb wax that thing every Saturday.
And it's been in a barn since 1988.
All right.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. We are 47 minutes into this podcast, and we are 15 minutes into this movie. So we're gonna go a hyper speed.
Okay.
So he gets in the front of the, he gets into this car. We got the princess in there. We got a young Tim Robbins and his girlfriend.
They start yelling at each other right away. Oh, you guys know each other.
So Tim Robbins and his girlfriend are very happy-go-lucky. They're singing show tunes. Like they're just in love with life. They do not want the negative influence of Gib and the princess in the backseat, just causing issues. So they're putting up with the fighting. It's going back and forth. And finally, Gib tells her exactly what their English teacher said. He says, you don't know how to live life. You don't know how to have fun. You don't know how to be spontaneous. You don't know how to do anything. So what does she do?
She flashes the next car that drives by because they just got mooned by some other people.
And she goes, come on, the mama boys. You don't get to see her boobs, though.
No
However,
boobs.
if you just look her up, you can see her boobs.
Okay.
Also at this point, Gibbs is in the car in the back seat. He's fantasizing about the sure thing, the TST. So he and we haven't mentioned. So she's going to California because she has a boyfriend. He's going to be a lawyer. You get
He's also very well organized. He has a series of teas that is organized very, very specifically.
You get the idea. He's like just as, if not more, straight-laced than her.
They're going to go to Vermont someday and start their own practice there, Glenn.
Hey, that's where Christian Slater and Billie Jean went.
Okay, yep.
Gotta go to Vermont. So, they're fighting in the back of the car. She says, come to Mama Boys. Next scene, Tim Roberts is pulled over. He's getting tickets for erratic driving, indecent exposure, all the things. And then he snaps. Tim Robbins just snaps.
This is. I didn't think I'd have any like laugh out loud moments in this movie, but this was definitely one of them for me. He just starts. He's like walking back behind the car. He's like, lock the door. He starts throwing the stuff out of the car. He slams the other door, and he's like, lock the doors. And then he opens up his car side. He throws everybody is out of the car, and he's like, lock the doors. And then his girlfriend or wife, whatever, starts freaking out. She's like, okay. It was a pretty good comedic moment right there. I'd recommend it. It's pretty funny.
Did you notice anything particular about the car in this scene?
The door on the back was kind of odd. The fifth door of the station wagon.
Oh, okay, you're close, but not quite.
Okay.
What do we got here?
They have a bumper sticker on the car that says,
Yeah.
I love E.T.
E.T.
So, and once again, let me remind you, this is a Rob Reiner movie. Like,
Yeah.
completely.
They also make a statement later about Elliot and how they don't like that name. Elliot.
I picked up on that, yes.
So, he kicks him out of the car. They go their separate ways. They end up having to hitchhike together. She ends up getting picked up by a trucker, a redneck trucker, who then tries
John
to
Cusack's like, you don't want to go with that guy. Don't go with that guy.
immediately, like when she got in the car, it was very subtle, but when she got in the truck, the trucker, takes his
he
weapon
pulls
off, flips in the pocket. He then proceeds to attempt to rape her. A little heavy, you would think, from like a fun, light, fluffy movie. But John Cusack comes to the rescue. He acts like a psycho killer, freaks the redneck trucker out.
Mm-hmm.
And she's impressed because John Cusack hid in the back of his bed the whole time of the truck bed. And so she's impressed that he had the foresight and cared enough to do that. They get their luggage, which was awesome. Now they're gonna take a bus, but they end up getting to a bus station because she fakes pregnant
She fakes pregnant. Well, I mean, they kind of have like a travel across America moments together.
Pregnant was after the bus.
So why was she gonna take a bus and he wasn't again?
He didn't have any money. He didn't have. This is just he got. I got $37 in my pocket. I'm gonna go get laid in California.
Yeah. So she gave him like $1.90 for something.
Yeah.
She gave him 50. It was the old guy. Some old guy asked for change.
Oh, okay. So she gives him money. She leaves him. By the way, this whole movie would have been solved if ATMs were invented.
Yeah.
I wrote that, and then another 5 seconds after I wrote that in the movie, something else happened.
Hold on, Tim. What's the irony here?
Oh no, that season's greetings sign has been on every protest where he flipped to the right.
Oh, okay.
Don't flip there, people. Watch us. It's not worth it. You don't want to see what's happening in this country.
Okay, 2 viewers.
I love this.
Well, it's been up to 5. I don't know if you noticed.
Okay.
But here's something I found. Did you know a lot of people, or not a lot, but a few people actually watch us through the YouTube, which we can't see the viewers.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay.
In fact, I know that's how MF Jones watches us. Probably watching us right now.
I mean, that's why.
Not joking, MF Jones. I love you. So she ends up not taking the bus. She surprises him. They get a hotel. He teaches her how to shotgun a beer. A scene that was not in the original script, but John Cusack had just learned how to shotgun a beer. He talked Rob Reiner into adding it into the movie.
Okay. You can use a pen or a knife or like a nail or whatever.
Any household utensil will work.
Yep.
But they did stay in a room together, and they did have a fight when they were with Tim Robbins and his girlfriend.
Yes.
And now they're staying in a room together, and they're going to sleep in the same bed together. And they get into a fight. He's like in the room, and he's in the bathroom, and he overhears her talking, and it's very favorable to him. Like, I think she really likes me. She likes me like that. And then so he walks out, and what she's been saying has really been to her boyfriend. He's like, well, fuck this. I'm going to go get drunk. So he takes the money that she gave him, goes to the bar, buys rounds for everybody.
Which is awesome, because there's this one really fat dude talking about, what fried food he ate that day. And then there's this weird cowboy, and at one point, Cusack's like, get the weird cowboy a drink.
Hey, weird cowboy guy, what are you drinking? I'm just having a beer. And he's like, and the weird fat guy that was drinking, he ate too many fried foods. He's like, I don't know, I need something kind of light. He's like, how about a white wine spritzer? Yeah. But yeah, and they eventually end up singing Christmas carols together.
Which is what you do.
Yeah.
So back in my younger, drinkier days, I used to spend every Christmas Eve at the bar. There is a special type of person who on Christmas Eve and Christmas night is at a bar by themselves.
I should have sent you more letters. I'm sorry, Clem. I'm sorry.
You know what? I had some of my favorite nights ever, sitting at a bar, just.
I'm sorry.
Can I finish?
Can I finish?
Can I finish? I would just be sitting there at a bar by myself. But then there's no one on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day are at the bar with other people. So it's kind of like this community of lonely people. And after 3 or 4 drinks, you just kind of start bonding. And I'm a people person.
You're blessed with a gift of gab, Glenn. There's nothing you can do about it.
So he gets drunk, sings Christmas carols with these random local yokels. Gets back to the room. He's wasted. He's got a bunch of empty beer bottles. Passes out on the bed. She covers him up, and then she sleeps on the floor again. She never gets.
Oh, but he smashes one against his head and goes unconscious, which I kind of felt was a little over the top, but it is the '80s movie. So.
The '80s movie, whatever. So, and he went to the bar using a fake ID for Dr. Levinson.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was an inside joke to someone, but I looked it up. I couldn't find it like I found the other inside joke. So, who are you?
No, Eugene.
I know. So, did you notice his shirt he wore in that scene?
Yes, with the T-Rex on it?
No, not that shirt. He wore a shirt that had Ike Eisenhower and Tina Turner.
Oh, okay, like Ike and Tina. Okay.
Yeah. That made me laugh hysterically. So, this is the point in the podcast where I wanted to talk about how many DZ movies we have done and how many JC movies we've done, but we've already covered it.
Okay.
Move on.
They wake up, and he wakes up at 7 in the morning, because that's when you drink until 4 in the morning. You can just wake up at 7 in the morning and hit the road, because you can't be a hitchhiker if it's dark out. You gotta hit the road if it's light out.
Okay. So here's the problem. This was wrote by Rob Reiner, who at this point was in his 40s. That's what happens when you're older. I have 4 drinks. I'm up at 4 a.m. like ready to go. Now, if I was Gibbs age and I had 20 drinks, I'm gonna sleep till 1.
Yeah, go ahead.
Professionalism.
Okay, but one time.
At band camp?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
One time.
You have a lot of interruptions. I have 0 interruptions.
Was that MF Jones also texting you?
Yeah, it was MF Jones.
This is, as Michael correctly stated earlier, I was out of order. This is when they pretend she's pregnant. The little old lady picks them up.
They're going to go with Elliot for a boy's name.
Yep, correct. She loses all of her money. Do you think the little old lady was a grifter? You think she took their money? I don't know.
Well, they didn't. She woke up and she noticed she didn't have her file of facts.
In the motel.
What?
She left it in the motel.
Oh, that's what. Okay.
And she probably was a grifter, also.
I think she's a grifter.
Okay.
Which is why we should do the movie Grifters, because once again, Annette Bening shows full bush.
I think who's the mom in that?
What?
Houston, is it?
Angelica Houston.
Angelica Houston. Both of them are very sexy in that movie.
Oh, yeah. I know what Jack Nicklaus saw in her.
Okay.
Angelica Houston just released part 2 of her memoirs. I can't wait to read both of them, and then I think part 3 is coming. I think Houston's probably had a hell of a career, and she dated Jack Nicholson for 16 years. So
seems like a lot of work. It seems like she might be open to things. If a lady is going to go with Jack Nicholson.
And that was before. Who is he? No, it wasn't Calista Flockhart.
It seems like the kind of lady that'd be open to things.
Laura Flynn Boyle. He was with her for a while.
Okay.
Anyway, I knew it was some skinny bitch. Hey. So they're trying to break into a camper in the middle of nowhere. It's pouring down rain. And then she realizes she has a credit card, but only for emergency, so she can't use it. And then John Cusack promptly points out, this is a fucking emergency.
So then he gets veal and she gets some kind of salmon dish, high-end restaurant. Yeah.
They end up, he was the big spoon at night. Just wanted to cuddle her. I mean, I like being the big spoon.
Not all the time. I'm just saying.
I agree. Sometimes you want to feel taken care of, right? I mean, am I right here? Sometimes you just want to.
Bro House 2030, Glenn. We're gonna make this happen.
Bro House 2030. I can't wait.
Okay.
2 straight episodes. Bro House got play.
Okay.
Are you aware of Bro House? I would think you're like the perfect person to be involved.
But when they are in bed, they're in the high-end hotel or nicer hotel, and he's got this like T-shirt with like the mountains and a wolf on it or something.
Yeah. 2 things. First of all, apparently there is a dance party going on below us right now.
Okay. It's the biggest drinking night of the year, Glenn, and we're podcasting, and I'm in my basement.
Fault people.
T-shirt.
Yes, this was the T-Rex T-shirt.
Mountains.
No, yeah, this was the T-Rex T-shirt. And
it is?
Yes.
Is that
Dispute, I'm right.
And secondly, the key that you said is hotel. Because
not motel.
Motels. I like to go motel, hotel, Holiday Inn.
Which is on my iPad, or on my iPod.
So, now, next morning they wake up, and they also realize, holy shit, we're way into this movie and we haven't got to the point. So they fast forward like we just had to with the trucker montage. So they get into a trucker's vehicle. she's sleeping in the back, or so.
Oh, well, they kind of have like a shared moment together where they're kind of laying together. She's like, nothing happened. He's like, oh, well, nothing did happen. You kind of got the feeling she wanted something to happen.
Okay, here's one of the here's one of the notes that I made about her, and
Michael's notes. Dun, dun, dun.
Should be a new segment.
Now.
I thought it was funny. There's definitely a character contrast, but he's the rebel, blah blah blah, and she's all like straight and narrow. Like she has on like the Little House on the Prairie nightgown, all buttoned up, long. You're like, okay.
Oh,
they're trying to set a picture here, and I thought it was just hilarious. He's wearing cut-off sleeves and a T-Rex T-shirt.
Okay. Is it a T-Rex? All right, I believe you.
You've got the movie right there beside you. Steve.
All right, I'll look. Jeez, amazing.
Seriously, they're.
But yeah, there's a lot of bump. I mean, we like to have a party here at the Awesome 80s podcast. So yeah.
Can you honestly hear it?
There's none of that.
Can you hear the bumping?
Yeah. You could.
Yeah.
Just add a little flavor.
Flavor Flav! So.
Give me my clock.
So, we think she's asleep. She's not. And he tells the truck driver about the sure thing. And the truck driver says, I've never had a sure thing.
He's like, no strings attached, no strings attached. Don't have to make a commitment, no hurt feelings, no hurt feelings. And then, much like the trucker scene in Armed and Dangerous, he sees how fast that son-of-a-bitch will go. You pay for my tickets, I'll get you to California.
And he does, in record time. So they're in California. She's heard everything. He doesn't know it. They go their separate ways.
And she's pissed. She's like, at a certain point, he'd been carrying her luggage, and she's super pissed. He got her that rose at dinner. She throws the rose back at him.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
So he goes, and we meet the nerd boyfriend,
Jason.
He is like super nerdy, but I mean, it feels like this is horrible, but it feels like what 35-year-old couples do when you want to play a game. Yeah, let's play cards or something. You want to play cards? It's not what 19-year-old kids do. They fast forward their years to beyond that.
It's very true. It's damn true.
And then we can see the meetup between from Goose from Top Gun and John Cusack, and he gets them all ready for this luau party because they're having a Hawaii-themed Christmas party.
Yes. So he gets them all ready. Everything's going down. It's going down. He ends up meeting the sure thing.
And she's got her nipples covered, and that's about it.
Yes. Meanwhile, Alison is playing gin with Jason.
Oh, she also, apparently, in his mind, she has an insatiable appetite for lovemaking. Even though John Cusack, in his mind, always satisfies her beyond recognition, she's still thirsty for more.
Alison is playing gin with Jason.
Yeah.
She's shotgunning a beer. She's drinking.
When's the next time you're going to play a card game with other adults? And when's the next time you're going to shotgun a beer, Glenn? I guess that's my question.
Well, I do.
Tomorrow.
No, I do have.
Do you have a regular card game with the retirees I work with?
No. I like to play Cards Against Humanity.
Okay.
It's been, a few months since we played?
Yeah.
So probably about time we get one together. Have you ever played Cards Against Humanity?
Is it like I don't know.
Do you know anything about it?
No, don't know anything about it, Glenn.
Okay, so you know my sense of humor.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
There's a tournament of bad that you have every year during the Final Four.
Tournament bad.
I'm already collecting.
Take that and then pretend like 10 years ago I was like, I'm going to invent a card game about bad rape and sex jokes and 9/11 and everything, and then that's called Cards Against Humanity.
Okay.
It's great.
It's a lot of dark humor, is what you're saying?
Yeah, it's very dark.
And it's much more fun when you're playing with someone who is not your boyfriend or girlfriend, or possibly the same sex.
That's also true.
Okay.
So, They're doing that, and then she's like, "Let's go out." They hear the party from across the quad. We'll assume.
Like, don't you want to go? Don't you want to live life? Let's go live life.
So Jason reluctantly goes. At this point, him and DZ, they see each other and they do the hate dance thing where they're like dancing with each other. And finally, they meet up at the punch bowl.
Here's your drink.
They have some hate talk. Jason realizes something's between them.
We're gonna go play cards. Yeah, we're gonna go up to Goose's basement, or go up to Goose's room and bang the shit out of each other.
Up to Goose's basement.
Goose has a bedroom upstairs. I'm sure Goose has a basement now. A pretty awesome basement.
So they go up to Goose.
Of all his favorite things.
A love seat and lots of beer,
beer. They're from around the world.
Yeah, imported even.
So they go up. He just can't do it, and right away, the TST...
Well, they're kind of leaving it ambiguous, like they just kind of cut.
Oh, you're right. But the TST asks him, "Is it about that girl?" Like she saw something.
Yeah.
Then they cut. We go to DZ and Jason, and he says, "Alison,
rocking the flannel sheets."
Rocking the flannel seats in L.A. By the way. No need for flannel seats.
He's getting them ready for Vermont. The more we break these things in, the better they'll be. The older they get.
I was out of place, but we'll take it.
Yeah.
Judges, Alex Trebek.
So,
the next scene. I mean, really, they only have one scene after that, and that's in the English room.
Are you in love with him? Like he calls it out. Do you love him? Cut. We're back at school. We're in the class, the writing class, and she's going to read The Sure Thing. The teacher's going to read his story he submitted. Not about eating pizza the correct way.
Or meeting some lady with these twins with giant scoops of flesh and a zucchini penis.
And he writes she reads his story, The Sure Thing, where it basically says that he didn't do it because he loved this other girl. DZ immediately knows, it's me. He's talking about me.
Right. I have a continuity question.
Yes.
Were we to assume they are just returning from winter break?
Yes.
Then how did he already have submitted assignment for evaluation?
No. Oh. No.
Maybe it's like a week later. First assignment.
He did discuss that. When he's on the phone originally with Goose, he says, I have to do this assignment and have it turned in right when I get back from break. So he did discuss that. Two things I left out earlier. First, going back, they did at the party they played Dance Hall Days by Wayne Chung. If you're a fan of the show, from a long-time listener, first-time viewer, whatever, I introduced you to this song some 30 episodes ago. I just mentioned how it's my jam, and you immediately listened to it. And
like, what are you talking about, Glenn? And then I listened to it. It's got a pretty good video too. I think it's a good video.
Great song. It is seriously my favorite '80s song. It's one of probably my favorite songs ever. Like if I just listen to that song, I'm just in a great mood. Also, there's a quote. I'm gonna say, was this? I didn't write down. I think this is from Goose, but it could not be. Every relationship
starts with a one-night stand.
Starts with a one-night stand. Yeah.
But then he tells the hot girl with the scantily clad Sure Thing that he's gay. Like he's gay and he's trying to get somebody to turn him. Or he's a virgin. He's a virgin. He might be gay.
The best wingman of all time. I just gave her two different things. So
she's a Sure Thing. He was just trying to put one more nail in the coffin. I'm like, he came all this way. There's no way I'm gonna leave my bro hanging. He's my bro.
I think this is.
They both play very bro characters, and this is like the only movie they really play those kind of characters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. They're very. This is a very bro-centric movie for two dudes who never play bros.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking Anthony Edwards' Revenge of the Nerds. This movie, he's banging everything. Anyway, So they kiss, and end of story. It's over. Happy ending.
It's one thing. The movie was kind of tight. It was like an hour and a half, and it feels like maybe more comedy should be an hour and a half. It feels like they try to cram in too much shit, and then especially a lot of the movies now have been kind of up-a-towed, where they let people kind of free flow and just kind of freestyle, and it ends up being like a long-ass movie with stupid scenes, I think, sometimes.
90 minutes in the 80s was the perfect time for movies.
I think so.
90 minutes to 97 minutes. Perfect comedy. If it's going to be like an action movie, hour 10 tops.
You mean 2 hours 10?
Or 2 hours 10. No. I
mean like hour 40?
110 minutes. So
okay.
Hour 50. Sorry.
Okay. I am serious about maybe doing the Lethal Weapon. I did message Bobby Joe, so that won't be the next one, but it might be the one after that.
It'll be the one after that. We're going to do the Lethal Weapon drinking game. We're probably going to do it here.
I think we can set up multiple cameras, too. I think we can do it.
We're going to have a multiple camera shoot. We're all going to be here. We're going to play a drinking game live on air. It's going to be a lot of fun. Bobby Joe, you, me, Haverstadt, possibly motherfucker Jones.
Possibly. He better be here.
Well, someone's got to drive us all home. Hey! So we mentioned something earlier. We've gone extremely long. Not that we care, but I don't. But we talked about earlier. Casey brought to our attention that in March of 2015,
Yes.
G.I. Joe Con, in its second year, will be in Springfield, Illinois, which is not too far from us. We've priced it out how much it would cost us to be there all weekend, to do live podcasts for 2, possibly 3 straight days, have a booth, and we are going to look at possible fundraising things, possibly selling different merchandise to our fans.
It's April 9th through April 12th, 2015.
Okay. So that's coming. Different ways if you guys want to help us out with that. It's something that I'm not a huge G.I. Joe fan, but the guy on the other side of the microphone, this would be like his fantasy, and he's made so many of my fantasies come true. In my head.
Not those kind of fantasies, Clint.
You say tomato, I say tomato.
Whatever. Hey, maybe. Yeah. I think the G.I. Joe convention would be pretty cool. I think because one year they had it on the aircraft carrier that's docked in the harbor in New York City. Is that the Enterprise? I don't even know what the heck the name of that one is. But so they've had. I probably got really back into G.I. Joe's probably '97, I'd say, and it might be worth checking out. Whatever, if you're into G.I. Joe's, no big. Hey, whatever.
Anyway, it will not be a cheap experience for us, but it's something we want to do, and I think it would be a lot of fun for everyone to listen or even come. So more details to come. MF Jones is going to put some stuff together, and then we'll unveil it to you. And my last question, something I haven't talked to you about. What do you think about going back and revisiting a movie you've already reviewed and reviewing it again?
I wouldn't be opposed to it. Maybe we should do it like April. Maybe we should do it like April 1st, like April Fool's Day.
Okay, I would like to do Can't Buy Me Love again.
Okay, because that was like the second or third one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was and it's one of my favorite '80s movies. That and Cocktail and Adventures of Babysitting are my top 3. No, I got to take that back because Dream a Little Dream just jumped a lot. Anyway, it's up there, and we did it a long-ass time ago before we really knew what we were doing. I'll probably want to re-listen to that episode before we talk about it, but I definitely would love to go back and revisit Can't Buy Me.
We've grown so much since then, Glenn. We probably have a different perspective on all our entire life,
There was 200 and something fucking episodes. As always, you can find us on the Facebooks. Our likes keep going up every week. That's awesome. If you follow us on Twitter, I've been talking. If you do follow us on Twitter, you can see that I've had conversations with a couple different '80s stars, including Corey Feldman on Twitter. We love to get them on.
I think Corey will be on our show someday, Glenn. I'm saying
he's hot.
I don't want to make a promise to our fans, but I'll make a promise to you, Glenn.
He's hot and cold because I'll be talking to him a couple times, either on Twitter or we'll private message each other, and then I think we're good, and then I don't hear from him, and then I'm like, fuck, and then he poisons the dog. I don't know. I don't know. But also, DZ, I sent her a tweet last night. If you see me send tweets, and I want to thank Jeff S. On Twitter, because he saw that I was discussing last week with Lainey, actress who played Lainey from Dream Little Dream, and he immediately retweeted her and just said, "This show is awesome. You should do this." So if you do follow the Awesome A's Pod on Twitter, please, if you see me tweet out someone to be on the show, tweet at them too. Let them know. We want them here. We want to bring them to you. Yakov Smirnov. I've been doing this.
Don't even say his name, Glenn. You're just going to upset me.
I'm sorry. So I had a couple messages with him. I thought a few weeks ago we were going to be a good, and then he kind of dropped off. And then I tweeted at him, and then he retweeted it, and I was like, oh, we're in again, and then we're not. I don't know. So the key with
what you're saying is you're going to continue your efforts to bring only quality programming to our fans here at the Awesome A's Podcast.
But I would love for them to help me out. If you see me tweet at somebody, just hammer them with tweets. Say, hey, yes, I want to hear you on this podcast. Even if you don't, I don't give a fuck about you. I care about what I want and what Michael wants. That's not true. I care about what you want to. So, yeah, if you see us do that, take care of business. So, this has been an awesome episode. Hey, you're still there.
Okay, you're still there. I got scared.
This has been another awesome episode of the Awesome A's Podcast. Thanksgiving Eve. If you're listening to this during your travels over the next couple days, I wish you a safe travel. I hope everyone enjoys what we're bringing to you. By the way, we got another iTunes review, so we bumped up off that number. Let's get a few more people. You're listening. I know how many of you listen. I see the numbers. Way more people listen than iTunes reviews. Take 5 seconds, write something up that says we're awesome or that we suck. Post it to the iTunes. That's how we help get us guests, too.
5 stars only.
This is Lawrence.
This is Michael.
This is Michael. Stay awesome, everybody.